say na 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 na, I say na 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 na, say na 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 na, I 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 say na 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 na. I never had it easy for the brands and the bling and the expensive thing on it. I never had the money, never had nice living. And mama say, oh, you could have it all, just work hard for yours. I say, mama, you know I work hard for sure. Now Jaja bless me with the opportunity to fly country to country. Now I can drink champagne when I thirst. Now I can see only thing I never see. They say this how you man so rock. But I thank me for the run my family. No bad mind boy, they can stop me. And every show I smiling cause trust me, life is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy. And I can't believe it, no. I'm far from finished, boy. Love the life that I live in, yeah. I say na na na, I say na na na, say na na na, I 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 say na na na. Forever thankful for doubters in the past and the people who laugh on us. Forever grateful for all the times I've failed. And Papa say, oh son, you can't give up. What's for you is for you. I say, Papa, you know I will never stop, no. Now Jaja bless me with the opportunity to fly country to country. Now I could drink champagne when I'm thirsty. Now I could see all the thing I never see. They say this how I get man so long. But I thank me for the run my family. No bad mind boy, they can stop me. And every show I'm smiling cause trust me, love is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy. And I can't believe it, no. See, I'm far from finished, boy. Love the life that I live in, yeah. I say na 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 na, I say na na na, say na na na, I say na na na, I say.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. It's Real Talk Night. I wanna say big ups to each and everyone locked in near and far. Big ups to the affiliates all over. Thank you to those that are locked in on TuneIn Radio, the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele. Thank you. Those locked in out of New Jersey on NIE Radio, home of the motivator. One brother from another mother. Also out of New Jersey, mix102.com. Thank you. And their sister station in Jamaica, Earth 96 FM. Oh, go on a yard. Symbol, big up your status. And say big up to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Big up Mr. Lindsay, the veteran. Those who are locked in on Zeno FM, bubbling in the stew pot, welcome. Those on Clubhouse, also bubbling in their stew pot. Much love to you. Those on YouTube Live, welcome. Massive at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. KevinStew.com. Thank you very much. So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. You have my word, I wouldn't even try.
lovely boy, and I'm far from finished, and I can't believe it.
Sound of voice in the background, kicking things off. Because, you know, we're far from finished over here. I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors, Pulse Media Group. When being in the moment is priceless, go ahead and give them a call. If you have a website you want to host somewhere, they host mine, they can host yours. They can provide you with services like I have right here on my website, where you can broadcast live on a secure platform. And it doesn't matter what you're broadcasting. Wedding, graduation, funeral, seminar, party. They got you. Just call them up 754-999-1140. That's 754-999-1140. Thank you, Pulse Media Group. I want to say thank you to Althea Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience. Go ahead and give her a call and schedule your appointment today. 954-655-9000. That's 954-655-9000. She only has one request, is that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. If you're anything like me, you're guaranteed to fall asleep. It's the Kevin Steele clause. Because I always fall asleep. I want to say thank you to the Global Base. The Global Base navigates your journey across music, marketing, and more. It's a realm where social spheres awaken through their mastery. Go ahead and embrace the invitation to liberate your creativity unbounded and free. Just like their consultation. Free. That's the initial consultation. Don't get carried away. The Global Base is your catalyst for everything related to music, marketing, event planning, and social media. Check them out. The Global Base, DAGLOBALBASE.com. Tell them Kevin Steele sent you. And thank you to McNeil Trucking. McNeil Trucking is a veteran-owned, licensed, and insured mover in the state of Florida. So if you want to move from the Keys to Jacksonville, from Naples to Palm Beach, from Pompano to Pensacola and all points in between, have some things you want to put in storage, don't have the manpower, don't have the transportation, don't worry. You have the name, you have the number. McNeil Trucking, 954-406-9740. 954-406-9740. Tell them you heard about them on Night Shift to DJ Kevin Steele. I'm so far from finished. Where are you? Thank you to the sound of voice. Those of you locked in, invite him to call a friend of a friend. Friend of your enemy, friend of your enemy's friend. Call up your enemy too. Call up somebody, anybody, everybody, let them know. The Night Shift to DJ Kevin Steele is on. It's Real Talk Night. And tonight, we're talking about the sheltered child. I'm pretty sure everybody knows one. Is familiar with one. At least the concept of them. But is there anything wrong with sheltering your child? After all, you know, you're looking to protect your child in the best possible way that you can, right? So is there a point in time when you go and exhibit this level of protection that it becomes too much. And if there is such a point, is there a danger to that point? Numbers to call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram that get you in touch right here on the broadcast, live and in living color. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. Again, you can call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram. They all work from anywhere in the world. Go ahead, connect with me live and in living color right here on the broadcast. Of course, you can jump into the stew pot. Those of you who want to know what the stew pot is, if you are on kevinstew.com, you're already there. It is the interactive section of the website. It's what others call a chat room, but because we're fancy over here, we call it a stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. We just ask that you keep things respectful and we can interact. You can remain anonymous if you choose, or you can change your number to represent who you are. And that way we can interact by name. Good evening, 971. Welcome, Stew Potter 971. All right, so sheltered children. For you to have a sheltered child, you have to have a sheltering parent, right? But we never really hear of any such parent, a sheltering parent. We hear about a sheltered child. So what would that parent be called? Well, a helicopter parent. Helicopter parenting involves parents who pay extremely close attention to their child's life. One that is overprotective and one that is excessively interested in their child's life. Again, is this such a bad thing? Let's talk about it and find out. According to Sandstone Care, there is nothing wrong with parental involvement. In fact, when it comes to parental involvement, developmental psychology has found that involved relationships are critical to raising healthy people. However, some involvement can backfire if proper boundaries are not set. Helicopter parents tend to have a lot of worry and anxiety surrounding their children, which can cause them to be over-involved and overbearing in their children's lives. Hey, Missy Bram, good evening to you. Welcome to the night shift. Helicopter parenting is a parenting style where parents are overly focused on their children. Some people refer to helicopter parenting as over-parenting. It can start with good intentions. A friend of mine, her mother used to say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And that kind of saying is one that will make you think, right? But it can start with good intentions. The parent just wants to be close to their child, involved in their lives, and wants to protect them. As a parent, that's pretty much one of the things you want to do. When a parent is present and engaged in their child's life, it comes with many benefits. They feel loved, they feel secure, they feel accepted. However, yes, there comes a point where there's a drawback. Helicopter parenting can impact many aspects of a child's life, including confidence, self-esteem, and mental health. So, if there's a potential for all these things to happen, how then, or why then, would somebody want to be that? Hey, Freedom, you didn't miss much. We're talking about the sheltered child tonight, and we're looking at the parent that does it, the helicopter parent. And, of course, it's interactive, so feel free to chime in or call in. 773-789 Stu is the number that you use. 773-789-7839. Call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram, they all work. Right? So anywhere you are in the world, you can lock in, call in, and be a part of this. Helicopter parenting can develop from a number of different factors. These include anxiety, fear of rejection, overcompensation, or even peer pressure. Now, as it relates to, well, I don't need to really get into what these are. We know what anxiety is. We know what it feels like. We know what the fear of rejection feels like. And so forth, right? We're familiar with those things. Another term for helicopter parenting is lawnmower parenting. And it refers to a style where the parent does anything and everything to take care of any challenge or obstacle that stands in their child's way. And what this does is it limits the child's ability to learn important resiliency skills and handle their own problems as they grow. We've pretty much all seen it, where there's a parent that is they want to make sure that everything is just right for their child, for whatever reason. Who does it more freedom? That's a good question. Typically you find some things and there would be a gender bias that's associated with it. I would say the gender bias associated with helicopter parenting would be the mother. And the only reason I would say that is mothers are associated with the loving and caring aspect, and fathers are associated with the skills and protecting aspect. But really and truly, I don't think it leans one way or another. It's just one parent can be a helicopter parent as a result of the four things that I mentioned before: anxiety, fear of rejection, overcompensation, or peer pressure. And something like that is not gender specific. We all experience those things. Children of helicopter parents may actually have challenges becoming independent and gaining confidence, and may be more likely to experience anxiety or depression. The over-involvement from the parents can often prevent the child from learning important lessons. The child could potentially miss out on crucial life skills because they're sheltered from mistakes that they need to grow. When well, those of us who have children, we would often tell them don't when it comes to something. And we would do it to the point where we would even spank their hand because they're looking to do the thing that you're telling them to not do. But especially when they're young, we don't think that they would understand you saying why. And I believe we get so caught up in the preventative measures that we don't give them the opportunity to learn some of those whys, to experience some of those whys. Because the experience with some of these things is very important. Because not everything you can learn through somebody else's experiences. Some things you're going to have to experience for yourself. Because how you deal with it would be unique to you. Some things, of course, you just take whomever's word for it and just run with that. Right? Some of the most common characteristics of helicopter parents would be that they worry about their children's safety. They have strict rules for their children. Solving problems for their children is top priority. They're constantly supervising, constantly correcting. They're overly involving themselves in their children's academic performance or sports. They have anxiety or fear, and they're very afraid of failure. Crazy, right? Not so much. Yes, we are all afraid to fail. But most of us recognize that along with failure comes the opportunity to learn how to do something better. It comes with the opportunity to even learn how to do something. Because the great scientists of our time and before our time didn't just do what they did and it worked. And so the mark of a successful individual is not the amount of times they got it right, but the amount of times they got that thing wrong and they kept on trying to get it right. At that point, now you could say this person is successful because they didn't just give up. And so our children, when they're growing up, when given the opportunity to make some of these mistakes, they're also given the opportunity to fix it. They're given the opportunity to do it a different way another time. Is there a way that we can recognize how these parents may be by their behaviors? Can you spot them from a distance? Maybe you are this parent and you need a checklist to see some of the things that are characteristics of a helicopter parent. Well, if you're feeling that you are not an adult, even if you are, it's a possible sign that you may have a helicopter parent. Yeah, because they're still doing. If you're having trouble with decision making, if you are feeling challenged with problem solving skills, if you're doing things independently and it feels difficult, if you're finding it challenging to make friends, if you experience anxiety, you have low self-esteem, you have challenges with emotion regulation, and you do your best to avoid conflict, then, well, you may have a helicopter parent. And this would be the result of that helicopter parenting. How do you identify the helicopter parent? Well, some of the common behaviors and signs of a helicopter parent can include cleaning up after your children and doing their chores, having excessive anxiety about your child getting hurt or something happening to them. I know someone that wouldn't allow their children to go out and play with their friends. As a matter of fact, they would choose who they could have as friends, or if they could have friends. Now, of course, I can't tell a parent how to parent, but I can tell that that child would, in the long run, is going to have difficulties. And what will end up happening is the first chance that that child gets, or those children get, they're going to distance themselves because they're going to experience something new, something different, something unique, and it will feel good. Because, first of all, they're going to be doing it themselves. And a child always likes to know that they can do something themselves. That baby that wants to open the door. No, I can do it. I can do it, Daddy. I can do it, Mommy. That child that wants to carry the grocery bag. They want to feel like they can do something, especially if they see their parents doing it, or they see some adults doing it. They want to feel like they have grown up. I'm a big kid now. The helicopter parent takes that away from them. So they are now conditioned to be dependent. And where does that leave us? What kind of adults would we have in our communities if they're constantly dependent on someone else to make their decisions for them? So they're cleaning up after their children, doing their chores. They're making decisions for their children. They're overly involved in school or in sports. They're excessively tracking or controlling their child's social media. Now, we do need to be careful when it comes to social media. But there comes a point in time where you express certain concerns to your children and you let them develop skills and stumble every now and then. Not fall, or if they do fall, you help them up. But you don't prevent them from falling or stumbling altogether. Because yet again, they got to learn some things. If they don't learn it, how will they be able to teach it when they become adults? I mean, parents. Well, adults and parents. Constantly stepping in so their child doesn't make a mistake. That's another big one. And again, we have learned so much from our mistakes. Why do we want to deprive our children of that? It may sound weird because there's the other argument that says, well, you already made the mistake. Why should you let them do it too? Well, they're making their own mistakes and they're learning how to fix it themselves. So now, when you have passed on, you have left them with that little bit of a legacy. The skill that they can pass on to someone else, another child, if not their own, so that they can be better members of society. Younger children, usually in elementary school, are dependent and require a certain level of parental supervision and involvement. At a young age, heavy involvement is normal and it's healthy. As they grow into high schoolers, college students, young adults, at this point, they should have more independence, more space, more freedom. You take that away from them, and they're still in grade school. What is it then that would drive an individual to be a helicopter parent? Well, there's a short list that we can go through for that. But we'll do so after we take a few brief words. A couple of things I want to make mention of. One of them is the audiobook. You regular listeners to the broadcast would hear me talking about the audiobook and Freedom. I'm gonna address your comment just after we come back from the break. Because that's a very good comment. Right, so some of you might hear me talking about the audiobook. Those of you that are new, this is the audiobook, Empowered, Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. Authored by Jonathan Field, narrated by yours truly, Kevin Stew. It's available on Audible, and the quick way to find it is to go to kevinstew.com. You'll see a picture of the book cover. Just click on it, and it takes you to exactly where you need to be in order to get your copy of the book. Empowered, Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. Get yourself a copy today and download one for a friend. Big ups to the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. They have been busy and they have been growing. The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation is dedicated to defending the threat to democracy and hold public officials accountable in Jamaica land we love. So those who are Jamaicans and friends of Jamaicans who are concerned about where the country is going, the path that it is heading in, the leadership, questions about what politicians in Jamaica are doing and have cause to be concerned. You need help in getting answers to your questions with regards to the governing of the country. Go ahead, reach out to the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, because they're on that path, that trajectory to getting answers. They're about that business. Visit them at ojldf.net. Connect with them. See how you can help and what you can offer. Get some answers about what is happening with a politician, a representative of Jamaica near you. Check them out.
Is your church, business, or private event at risk of being left behind? Then let Pulse eMedia Group be your one-stop shop to capture your vision and mission for your business or showcase your church through live streaming. Celebrate your memories through photos and videos for your wedding, youth concerts, women's ministries, and men's outreach programs in action. We will even help you develop specialized apps to enhance and expand your opportunities to reach new clients and new seekers to better serve your community. At Pulse eMedia Group, it's not either or. Call us at 754-999-1140. Pulse eMedia Group.
This is Fearless Creativity, headed by Simon Mays with over 30 years of creative experience. Clients include the Jamaica Inn, Flow Jamaica, and many more. We help run campaigns from ideation to the final edit. We offer social media content, video production, post-production, and also animation packages. You need these services because in 2024, you cannot reasonably compete in the market without having a digital presence. We offer these packages fully in-house. All the headache is taken off you, and it's automatic and can be repurposed. We can make it extremely convenient and extremely affordable for you if you allow us to help. We typically offer 3, 6, 12-month packages, but because we have expanded our client base, we are offering a special introductory 1-month startup package, which will help leverage your business by building awareness, exciting customers, and ultimately drive sales.
Hey Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
It takes some time to understand, yeah, just what it takes to be a man. Now it seems each day you learn something to make a better way. Like growing up ain't just a phase, it's reality. And sometimes it's hard to face the world with your head screwed on, but in time you will see it comes naturally, like the hurt and the pain. It's a part of the game. It's all a part of life. To laugh and to cry. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. You know I've heard them say life much better you live it your own way. But if you need a helping hand, just call on me, I will be your friend. And when it gets hard to face the world with your head screwed on, just tell yourself you can, and that's when you'll understand that the hurt and the pain, it's a part of the game. It's all a part of life, to laugh and to cry. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. You gotta keep on moving on. Don't let no one stand in your way. Gotta keep on pressing on. As we pray for better days, keep it moving, moving to the next. When they try to bring you down, we gotta take it to the next level when they come around. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. Just keep your head up. Keep your head up. Just keep your head up. Keep your head up. Gotta keep your head up. Keep your head up. 'Cause everything's gonna be alright. Keep your head up. Keep your head up.
You gotta keep your head up.
Keep your head up. 'Cause everything's gonna be alright.
The sound of Isaac Buchanan, a track called All in Life. And the things that happen in our lives, boy, some of them break us. But if we stay broken, then we won't grow, will we? ISAT has a program on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern called Context Matters. And that was one of the things that he was talking about recently, being broken and being put back together and the symbolism of it. He gets real deep, and when you hear someone like Isaac putting things into context, you can do nothing but listen. So check him out Thursday evenings, Reggae Global Radio, and on YouTube, Isaac Buchanan with Context Matters. All right, so welcome back to the broadcast. Those of you just joining in, glad you could join us. Go ahead, call a friend, friends of a friend. friend of your enemy, enemy of your friend, and your enemies too. Call up somebody, anybody, everybody, let them know we're on. It's Real Talk right here on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Hey, cuz, how you doing? How things down there in Jamaica? So before we went off on the break, there was a comment in the chat. They need to start learning independence before they get to high school. In what way freedom? How exactly does that lesson, how does that look? That independence. What are some of the things that we need to do? 773-789 Stu gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram. Talk with me. How do we go ahead and teach our children to be independent? And I ask that from a parent to parent perspective. You know, let's go ahead as a community and build. Yeah, let's help each other. Let's guide each other through this. Those who are experienced in this parenting thing, and so we can help out those who are not so experienced and those who are in between that still have time to change their style. What can be done? How does that look? As it relates to the helicopter parent, what are some of the things that would drive someone to become a helicopter parent, or still, if they are, that drive them? Now, one of the things is that they have high anxiety. We mentioned this at the beginning of the broadcast. And this can make them worried about their children. It is a parent's job to protect their child, yes. When it comes to helicopter parenting, though, they want to control and be involved in every aspect of their children's lives. Helicopter parents are very focused on ensuring they don't make any mistakes with their children. And their children are thriving, often at the expense of the child's privacy and their independence. Sometimes conditions and events such as chronic illnesses or disabilities can trigger helicopter parenting also. Parents who are excessively worried about their children due to past events can often unintentionally limit their growth. And sometimes this leads to neglecting the healthy siblings called the glass children. Helicopter parenting often stems from a desire to protect children in every way possible. So, freedom, going back to your question earlier, is this more prevalent in fathers or mothers? Well, we can't see any one parent having the desire to protect their child more than the other. You know, every household is different and would have one that is more overly protective than the other, but still, we wouldn't limit it to a gender. Often driven by anxiety and worry, and that leads to excessive and overbearing behaviors that can end up harming a child in the long run. Who would exhibit that? Either one. Doesn't matter. Mother or father. A helicopter parent may do their child's homework or their high school project to make sure that they get a good grade so that the child doesn't have to stress over it. And it is quite common for a helicopter parent not to want to see their child fail. And because of this, they may over-involve themselves in their children's lives. And this may include filling out job applications for them or trying to get them into college they want through shortcuts or connections. A helicopter parent may also overschedule their child, fill their free time with extracurricular activities, and hold their children to high standards. Not to say that we're not to hold our children to high standards. Yes. But you don't want to be forcing them to get to that high standard. Sometimes it's what a parent has been through, so they're making sure that their child does not go through that same thing. Okay, Mr. Bramham, I get that. We all want better for our children. You know, those of us who grew up not having video games and always wanted one, sometimes we'll go overboard with it, and every new video game that comes out, we get it for our child. Yeah, so that borderline's spoiling. But we understand that we didn't have it, and we knew how we felt when we didn't have it. But also think about the person that you have grown up to be. Is it that you're driven by having things because you didn't have it? Or you got to understand that, hey, you know, sometimes we will have things and sometimes we won't. It's not the end of the world. Freedom says making their breakfast or lunch, washing their clothes, wake up on their own, knowing how to differentiate between real friends and fake friends, having the emotional strength to not be a follower. These are ways that you can start teaching them independence. Yes. Maybe because I grew up in a different time and in a different country, I don't know. But in primary school, at age 5, 6, I was going to school by myself. Taking the bus, going to school by myself. Yes, it was a different time. But children going to elementary school today in the United States go to a school that is often near to the home that they live in. And so with a number of children from the community going to that school, then the parents can get together and not necessarily get together to meet up so that children can go, but get together so that we can know the other parents in the community. And so when the children are going to school, they meet up and they go together in a group. What does that develop? That develops teamwork. Because now they know that they have a team with which they can rely on to accomplish a particular task. And this task, in this sense, is getting to school. And the reverse would be true, getting home. And so, as parents, that's one less thing for us to worry about because we know the children are safe. Up until this point, they have X amount of people with them. What does that do? That reduces the level of anxiety. But with a helicopter parent, that does not happen because their level of anxiety is always on 100. Helicopter parents also control their children's friend groups. They treat adult children as babies. They're always talking to their teachers or coaches over minor issues. And they're tracking their children at all times. As it relates to controlling friend groups, I had that experience with one of my children. And my older son, my mini-me, when he was younger, his mother did that to him at one point. And because we had split a long time ago and they would come between the two houses, now when I talk with him, he says things like, you guys parent so different. And we have these kinds of conversations. And very early out, I had to say to him, well, I would tell them, your mother and I both love you. We just display it differently. And so when you have a helicopter parent or a sheltered child, if both parents are like that, then the child is destined to fail. And it's proven. The question is asked in the Thomasville Times Enterprise. Are we stunting our children in the name of protection? And this was a letter to the editor. And it reads, as a society, we want to protect our children, but in doing so, are we stunting what children and young adults can learn because we are afraid they may be exposed to things outside of our own belief system? Why are parents so fearful of their children's ability to be discerning and astute when exposed to material outside of their life experiences? Are we as a society ignorant to the psychological damage of over-sheltering children and the possibility that being over-sheltered can lead to an adulthood filled with dangerous risk-taking behavior? Sheltered children may struggle with remaining independent and may additionally have difficulty handling rejection or failure, according to research conducted by Dr. Leela R. McGarvey, Johns Hopkins trained psychiatrist and regional medical director for community pediatric psychiatry for the state of California. Over-sheltered children are restrained from exploring and understanding the external world freely, often due to parents' anxiety and apprehension. The over-sheltered adult may be less imaginative and creative. They may also struggle with trying new things like making friends, traveling, making decisions, and much, much more. The key point here is that over-sheltering often has more to do with a parent's anxiety than the welfare of the child. And no matter what good intentions you start, it doesn't often work out like you'd hope. Think of friends you may have had when you were growing up that were sheltered, who are now adults. What kind of journey did they have between the point where they could start doing things on their own, quote unquote, start doing things on their own, and now that they have moved out of and possibly have become parents themselves? So now they have their own families, they are living their own lives. What kind of risk-taking did you see them exhibit? Because almost always this child would do some real risky things. This young adult, this adult, the moment that they got out, the moment that they could do things themselves, they started doing some things that would really make you wonder, who is this person? We've all seen it. I know I have. And I can think of at least one person that she just started wiling out. And then she leveled off and became even keeled. And I observed this as it happened as a young child, as a young girl, really protected by her parents, more so her mother than her father, overly protective of her. Let me tell you, this girl got to college and was just wild. When I heard some of the things that she was doing, I was like, who are you talking about? That can't be the same person. But yes, it was. And Freedom says that used to happen to pastors' children in our community. Here's the thing. The girl that I'm telling you about is a pastor's child. And so, yeah, it happens. The Daily Star.net has an article which is titled "The Repercussions of a Sheltered Childhood." And it says your parents only have your well-being in mind. And this is something most of us hear growing up, especially when we vocalize our dissatisfactions towards our parents. While there may be some truth to that statement, in many cases, sometimes well-intentioned actions end up going sideways. When parents restrict us from certain activities or interfere in our lives, it may form a place of concern. However, the degree of involvement can prove to be disadvantageous later on in life for the child if it exceeds a certain threshold. Parents will often say they're not going to be there for us forever, which is easily the best counter argument for their inclination to be overly sheltering. Not being there for us does not only mean physically, but being absent. It also means how we can't count on our parents to always solve every little problem in our lives, even if they're physically present. If our parents previously didn't allow us the chance to navigate our lives, we may end up struggling to cope with being on our own. I have to give thanks for the mother I had. I grew up with my mother. Developed a relationship with my father later on, as an adult, really. And whereas I didn't get to do a whole lot, I got to do some things and more as I got older. Of course, it's a thing to do. I started working. I graduated from high school at age 15. It's a thing. It's a Jamaican thing. Those who are not Jamaican wouldn't really understand. But I graduated from high school at 15. Went to college for 2 years. Started working right after. And haven't stopped working ever since. As a child, I remember doing certain things by myself. One of them being going to the movies. How often do you find people going to the movies by themselves? I don't know. But I did. And Mr. Brambam says, sheltered children, when they get one chance, they're wild. It's like there will be no tomorrow. Yeah. We see it happen all the time. And so, I had the opportunity, although I was restricted in doing a lot of things, I got the opportunity to still do a lot of things. I was taking the bus by myself, going to school from very early. So, it was my responsibility to make sure that I got to school on time. And I was expected to be home at a certain time. And back then, we didn't have cell phones. So if you're running late, there's no way to say, hey, you're running late. Well, pay phone, but, you don't have money like that. But you know what I mean? So, but you shouldn't be calling to say that you're coming home late when there's nothing scheduled. That's another thing. You learn the responsibility of letting your parents know that here are these things that you're involved in. I was involved in cadets. So after school on these days, I had cadet. Now, I would steal away from time to time, go to my friend's community, leave from North Street at St. George's College, go to Waterhouse, play ball on the road, and then make my way across Washington Boulevard, take the bus, go up to Zeta Gardens where I lived. That was a thing. Did my mother know? Not all the time. And sometimes it was way after it happened that the story came out. But I got the opportunity to do these things on my own. I went to church by myself. I was involved in music in church from age 10. So there was that responsibility. I had to make sure that my clothes was my school uniform, and we were uniform to church. I went to the Salvation Army, and we wore uniform to church. It was my responsibility to make sure that my white shirt was kept clean and it was ironed properly. So my mother taught me how to iron early in life. My mother was a dressmaker. So was my grandmother, whom I lived with. These were the individuals who helped mold me to be the person that I am today. And I was given that opportunity. Yes, I couldn't do some of the things that my friends were able to do. When they were riding their bicycles, going up and down all over the place, I wasn't able to do that early out. Later on, yes. Not to mention, when I started driving, I didn't have a car, but I was working, so I could take my money and go rent one when I needed one. And because I was an adult, I have to schedule my time to make sure. But that happened from back when I was a child and given the opportunity to do things by myself, like to make sure that I got to school on time. And that started from primary school. And it took me into to high school and further on into community college and into my work life. It was my responsibility to do these things. And so, as an adult, yes, I know that I need to make sure that these things get done. When you have a helicopter parent who is doing these things for you and making sure that these things get done for you, if God forbid they meet an early demise, where does that leave you? Where does that leave our children when we can no longer do for them in that manner? We're doing them an injustice. And so we end up with a community, we end up with a society that cannot do for themselves. We end up with a bunch of sheeple because these individuals are waiting for somebody to lead them. They're waiting for somebody to say, hey, come, this is how you're going to do this. Not this is how I want you to do this. Go ahead and make it your own. This is how you're going to do this. And that thing will be all that they know. Because the creativity now has gone away. The ingenuity now has gone away. So, who are we raising? What kind of individuals are we raising at this point? Who do we want our children to be? And that is scary. I used to work at a community center. So I grew up going to church in the Salvation Army. I worked for the Salvation Army for 7 years in 2 states. And I worked with children. And I had the opportunity to allow these children to make their own mistakes and experience a consequence. Whether it is a positive or a negative consequence, they get to experience that consequence. Hey, Debbie, welcome to the broadcast. Glad you could join us. And so I had that opportunity to give them the chance to grow. You know, you need room to grow. You have a plant in a flower pot, and the flower pot is this size. And it will only grow to a point. When you expand that flower pot to bigger, now you have to hold it with 2 hands. You can't hold it with 2 fingers anymore. You have to hold it with 2 hands. You will see that plant thrive even more. And if you move that plant from that pot and put it in the ground, now you no longer have a plant. You potentially get a tree. And so you move from the point where you're protecting this little plant and making sure that the leaves don't get crushed, to that tree protecting you from the elements and giving you shade, possibly giving you food. Our children are not much different. We need to give our children the space to grow. In the early years, of course, we're going to give them that fertilizer. We're going to give them that protection. But the moment that we're constantly doing that, the moment that we don't stop and transplant them to another area where they can thrive on their own, we're killing them. If something is not growing, then it's stagnant. Anything that is stagnant is dead. So, in essence, we're killing who our children could be by being helicopter parents. So, if you're wondering, was I that sheltered child? Well, here are some signs that you were overly sheltered as a child. And this is courtesy of gdating.com. Growing up, we all remember our childhood in different hues. You know, there are some shades of gray, there are some bright colors, there are some really dark colors. But vibrant colors of exploration and others in muted shades of security. Perhaps you glance back at your past and you wonder if your experiences were typical of your guardians and were typical of childhood, and if your guardians were a bit too cautious. How do you know the difference? Well, here are 7 signs. Ready? And if any of these strike a chord, it could be time to acknowledge how this sheltered upbringing has impacted you. Now, freedom, there's a difference between a strict parent and a sheltered parent. A strict one will have certain rules, not guidelines, rules that must be adhered to, but they give you the opportunity to do certain things, and they're not doing certain things for you. A parent who shelters will do things for you. Just about everything. So, that is the first thing on this list. You were rarely allowed to make your own decisions. One of the most telling signs of an overly sheltered childhood is a lack of autonomy. If your parents made all the decisions for you, from selecting your clothes to choosing your hobbies, even your friends, chances are you were overly sheltered. And while it's normal for parents to guide their children, it becomes problematic when this guidance turns into control, leaving little room for you to grow and learn from your own mistakes. Making decisions and facing consequences, good or bad, is a crucial point of personal development. If you were denied this opportunity, it is possible that you had an overly sheltered childhood. If you were always the new kid, now contrary to what you might think, being the new kid on multiple occasions could be a sign of an overly sheltered upbringing. Usually, children who were overly protected are kept within a familiar environment, mainly at home. Was that you? In some cases, overprotective parent may disrupt their child's social environment frequently to keep them from harmful influences, quote unquote harmful influences. And this could mean changing schools or neighborhoods often. And the result of that is that you're always a new kid, struggling to make lasting friendships or connections. That is a real challenge because it makes the individual socially awkward. It's difficult for that person to thrive in a new environment. And it may be a measure to protect you. Well, that's counterproductive. Because the third thing on this list is that you struggle with independence. And that's a classic sign of overly sheltered childhood. If you find yourself struggling with tasks that seem second nature to others, cooking, managing finances, making important decisions, well, you very well could have been an overly sheltered child. Overprotective parents unwittingly discourage their children from learning these vital life skills by doing them for them. They're the ones that are always doing the things for their children. And yes, it's cute, but it's also limiting. You have a heightened fear of failure. A less obvious sign of an overly sheltered childhood is deep-seated fear of failure. Our early experiences with success and failure significantly shape our attitudes toward them in later life. So parents who are overly protective often prevent their children from failing or facing failure. They step in to solve problems, remove obstacles, create false sense of always winning. In real life, that doesn't happen. And so we're doing our children a great disservice. Because yes, in the beginning, it's all good and well. But in the end, disastrous. This individual will never learn that it's okay to fail. And in that moment of failure, they're on the path to success. If you feel disconnected from your peers, well, so growing up overly sheltered can often create an invisible barrier between you and your peers. While your friends are experiencing their first solo bus ride and learning to mend a torn seam or grappling with the consequences of a poor decision, you might have been on the sidelines watching life happen rather than participating in it. This is something else that I'll forever be grateful for with my mother, because I was taught how to sew. Of course, because she was a dressmaker. And so I got those life skills. And I made things that I could play with. I made these little cushions, and I would learn to juggle them like a soccer ball because I never had one. Didn't have a soccer ball growing up. Or, as we call them, real football. I didn't have a football growing up. I learned how to kick a ball by kicking a tennis ball against a wall. That was my ball. And so, but I was given the opportunity to be able to do that. I taught myself certain things, and my mother gave me the opportunity to fail in doing it so that I could be better at it. And so anything that I want to do today, once I have set my mind to do it, it is going to happen. This broadcast that is happening right now is as a result of something coming to mind. Oh, I'm going to do this. And I have grown this platform from nothing. My own radio broadcast, now multimedia broadcast. Just because I was given the opportunity to fail as a child. But that's my story. If you're overly self-reliant, and this one may seem a little bit contradictory, but if you're overly self-reliant, then you might have had an overly sheltered childhood. So imagine a scenario where your parents were always there to step in and solve problems for you. As an adult, you might swing in the opposite direction, resisting any help or support from others. Now you see how it's counterproductive. Now you see where there could be an issue. And this is because you never had the chance to navigate and the delicate balance between asking for help and trying to solve problems on your own. You may have internalized the message that you cannot trust others to be there for you, leading to an extreme self-reliance that can actually be a hindrance in your personal and professional relationships. And lastly on this list, you have difficulty facing unfamiliar situations. An overly sheltered upbringing often leads to a fear of the unknown. If your parents always kept you in a controlled, predictable environment, you might find yourself feeling anxious or overwhelmed when facing unfamiliar situations. And this could range from traveling to a new place to trying a different cuisine to meeting new people. The world outside of your comfort zone might appear daunting because you were not given the opportunity to explore it gradually and safely as a child. And so these new places are not an adventure. They're a challenge. They're scary. And you pretty much won't want to have much or anything to do with them. Okay. Okay, that's a different question. Taking responsibility and embracing your journey is critical to moving past this situation, moving past this hurdle in your life, because that's exactly what it has become. Because you having had this experience, you are deprived of certain things, certain life skills, certain tools with which you can draw on. And you're still going to need them. Recognizing that you were overly sheltered as a child is critical. And it's a crucial first step, but not the end of the journey. It's the beginning. So now you have to take responsibility for your life, for your experiences. Don't go on the blame game. It's not about blaming your parents or feeling victimized by your upbringing. It's about acknowledging how your past has shaped you, taking conscious steps to grow beyond it. Because now you're starting to learn new things. You're starting to recognize that there's a different world out there and it is navigated in different ways. You're not defined by your past or the circumstances of your childhood, according to gediting.com. You're defined by how you respond to them and the choices you make moving forward. Take baby steps. Start today. Start small. Take responsibility for one thing in your life that you've been avoiding or resisting. It could be something as simple as making a meal. It could be as complex or as life-changing as a career decision. After you've taken your first step, you'll start to see changes. You'll recognize certain things about yourself. You'll start to become more familiar with who you are. Confidence will start to grow. You'll realize that you're not just a product of an overly sheltered childhood, but a person with the power and the potential to shape their own destiny. At this point in time, you can start to say, I am, versus, well, I think. So now you start to have the confidence. You start to own your identity. You start to relate to certain things. And you say, you know what? I have tried. This particular thing didn't work out. But I'm going to try again. I'm going to try this different thing. And I'm going to be good at it. And this now is how we start to make a difference. Not just in our lives, but in our communities. Because in taking that position now, you have shown someone else that they can do this. There's always someone who sees you as someone to look up to. Always. Even when you don't want to be or you're not trying to be. There's always someone, at least one person that looks up to you for guidance, for direction. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. And so, when you become this person who can do so with confidence because you have stepped out of your parents' shadow. And, you know, there's one thing that years ago, I had done a series on parental alienation. And that is probably something I need to revisit also. But that's for another night. But as a parent, we have a couple of jobs, a few jobs. We have the job to protect our children in early developmental years. We are given the responsibility to make sure that they are safe and that they're healthy. In doing so, we are also given the responsibility that we create successful, positive contributors to our society. In other words, we have the responsibility to mold these individuals to become the next us. The next us that will mold other individuals to be a part of a better society. And so, we don't need to be anxious about them being able to navigate their own spaces when we have properly done our jobs. You give your child the necessary tools to lay a proper foundation, and they will build on it in great ways. You don't have to be there every step of the way, adding each layer. No. Your job is to set the proper foundation. Give them the tools, point them in the direction to find other tools that will help them to be better versions of you. Because at the end of the day, you have created this life. It's a part of you. It's you incarnate in real life. You're watching yourself grow. Because this piece of you is real. It has its own identity. It has its own personality. But it's still you. And it is your child. This being that you have gotten together with someone else to create. Now given the opportunity to mold and say, go forth and do the same. When you are an overly sheltering parent, you restrict that. So you end up doing a disservice to your own children. And then at the end of the day, you turn around and say, but what happened? And until you recognize your role in what you have created, then you won't really know. And so with that, you still have the opportunity to make sure that this young life can still thrive, can still go on to do greater things than you have. Because now you recognize that you have done certain things and have done a disservice, and you can fix it. It's not the end of the world. At this point, you can fix it. And so you can now start encouraging your young adult, your teenager, to do things themselves, to make their mistakes, and encourage them to, and let them know that you are there in support of them. If they stumble, you're there to help them get up, but you're not going to push them down for them to fall. No. But you're not going to prevent them from stumbling either. Because some things help to make better people, stronger people. In order to build muscles, you have to break them. So that weight that you're lifting is ripping your muscles. Give it a little time to heal. And you go back and you push them again. And you rip them again. And this is how you build your body. Build them with strong muscles. This is what we're doing for our children. This is what we're doing for our society. We're building stronger us. Us's. Yeah, it's not a real word, but you get the picture. Stronger, better versions of ourselves are what we're creating. Hopefully, when you recognize that you are an overly sheltering parent, or your partner is, or your friend or your relative, that you have the skill set to, with love, let that individual know what they're doing. And the other challenging part to that, from my own experience, I can say that helicopter parent doesn't see that they're doing a disservice. And you telling them or even suggesting that they do something different is you trying to harm their child. I have experienced that. So whereas it is not your job to save them, if it is your child, when you have your moments with your child, your responsibility is to give them those tools. Even if they can't use it around the other parent, they can use it around you. And so they still have an opportunity to be better versions of themselves, better versions of you. Ultimately, that's where we want to end up. Of course, if we have each other's help, then we're stronger together, right? So let's help each other to get to that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Going into musical therapy. This is Amari.
We realize we say we have to face the pressure, but we have to focus so we overcome the stress.
It's called Firm and Strong.
Say I gotta be firm and strong in a Babylon. Got to be wise in this time. Gotta be firm and strong in a Gideon. My people, be wise and be strong. Yeah, every day we get up, it's another murder and another setup. Boy, me not know about you. Education is your tool. Abide by the rules and don't be a footstool, yeah. Abide by the rules and don't be a footstool, yeah. Yeah. 'Cause you gotta be firm and strong in a body, yeah. And got to be wise and be strong. Gotta be firm and strong, yeah.
This is Pete Star. Track called Daddy.
You're man enough. Then you have to raise a baby boy to be strong enough. In a world full of obstacles, doing his best, no time for tomorrow. Gave me all the tools I need, not tomorrow. That's why I love my father. I'm not afraid to make you hear it loud. Love my father. You're a true example of a king, no doubt. Love my father. Although you're gone, you'll always be around. That's why I love you, Papa. My journey wasn't easy, no, but your lesson saved me. And when the dirty got tough, you never leave me. That's why I rate you sincerely. You taught me daily to be bold and strong and take care of my love, my father. I'm not afraid to make you hear it loud. Love my father. You're a true example of a king, no doubt. Love my father. Although you're gone, you'll always be around. That's why I love you, Papa.
Yeah, the fathers are important. So we have to do that one here for all the fathers.
Daddy, you ma, daddy, you ma, daddy, you ma. Role model. Daddy, you ma, daddy, you ma, daddy, you ma. That's why.
But from your life when you give thanks cause you're so blessed. Tell them free the youth. So free the youth and from the slums up. Find the food and them can't get none. Nobody give them no guns up.
This is Johnny C.
So much brother run.
It's called Free the Youth.
The slums up. Find the food and them can't get none. Nobody give them no.
This rhythm compilation called The Greater Glory Rhythm. Produced and compiled, presented, done by all students, former students of St. George's College.
All the killing on the streets, the door by the beast. Tell me for reason, the higher priest, the words on the street, they don't get me feet. When they march on eat, in your love will increase. Love for the strong, love for the weak. Love, Rastafari I see. The humble as a lamb, righteousness to seek. Let them know the earth, it belongs to me. So free the youth and from the slums up. Find the food, and them can't get none. Nobody give them no guns up. Look around in the so much blood around. So free the youth and from the slums up. Find the food and them can't get none. Nobody give them no guns up. Look around in the so much blood around. Are you blind to see? And why you remain in silence? When are you did start violence? Sitting on your eyelids. Gonna be a gunshot from my hands. I know it's tough in the streets. Who's them are dead in the streets? Too much guns in our streets. So free the youth and from the slums up. Find the food and them can't get none. Nobody give them no guns up. Look around in the so much blood around. So free the youth and from the slums up. Find the food and them can't get none. Nobody give them no guns up. Look around in the so much blood around.
This is lead singer of of Third World, Mr. AJ Brown.
When you fall off, get back up and rise.
Track called Living in the Now.
Laugh out loud after every cry. Living in the now is a great way out. You made it.
Notice I didn't say this is Third World. I said this is their lead singer.
Be aware of who you are. Gotta be conscious of it too. When you're shining like a star, like every member of your crew. Everybody has a past. May yours be filled with no regrets. Better do the right things now. Fall off, get back up and rise.
Pull up that DJ Kevin Sentinel, say that.
Seems like the end times we're living in.
Once more from the top, AJ Brown. Track called Living in the Now.
When you fall off, get back up and rise. Laugh out loud after every cry. Living in the now is a great way out. You may discover the meaning of life. Be aware of who you are. Gotta be conscious of it too. When you're shining like a star, like every member of your crew. Everybody has a past. May yours be filled with no regrets. Better do the right things now. Fall off, get back up and rise. Laugh out loud after every cry. Living in the now is a great way out. You may discover the meaning of life. This is what we know. This is why we grow. And this is how we flow. When we're moving on the wave, surfing on the wave, riding the wave of life. For every mistake that you made, they should never be the same. Of anything you do or say, you should never be ashamed. Live with love within your heart, and love will be your guiding light. Keep doing what feels right. When you fall off, get back up and rise. Laugh out loud after every cry. Living in the now is a great way out. You may appreciate the meaning of life. Ooh.
This is Diamond Leah. Track called Who You Love.
You, I look for love in all the wrong places. Fear smiling at the wrong faces. Baby, wake up. Like an acid makeup. Ooh, you are cheating and no liquor. No make no man call it, no make no girl call it. Them push you to the limit. And when you reach your limit, somebody your press a trigger. You better choose yourself, choose a health, get some help. The better player, them need the bench, make it make sense. Ooh, the love, choose. Ooh, takes two to love, baby. You, I look for love in all the wrong places. Fear smiling at the wrong faces. Baby, wake up. Like an acid makeup. Red flag, same blue. Lies ain't true. Not all trees are fruit, but all trees are root. You can't hide real pain, but you can try to hide the bruise. Now relationship and our cruise. Fall in love, but don't be a fool. Even make it in bed without faithfulness. Try you your love. You better choose. I look for love in all the wrong places. For your smiling all the wrong faces. Baby, go. Like you don't see me. Ooh, watch this and I no liquor. No make no man call up. No make no girl call up. Push up to the limit. And when the beach a limit.
Somebody press that trigger.
Choose yourself. Choose your health. Get some help. Come with a player. Choose yourself, and wait for bench. Make it make sense, ooh, your love. Choose. You, I look for love in all the wrong places. For your smiling at the wrong faces. Baby, we'll go. We'll go. Let me know, me go. Don't ask me why them still so.
I want go a pumpkin belly, I don't know.
This is music from the late Ideology. It's called Pumpkin Belly.
No day I saw it in your play. Can't me a plant, me no plant in your key. Why sunshine you feel your pain? Earth never making a one day. Oh, what a walk on a pumpkin belly, you don't know. You never yet plant a seed and reap when it a grow. We take the food which is another man dish. Could you be me, no like a basic. Sweater you broke, that a basic. Steve, take them back a basic. Knock up the drummer, they got a basic. A couple shake up, you walk or shake it. So with the music and so we make it. Oh, the walk on a pumpkin belly, you don't know. You never yet plant a seed and reap when it a grow.
This is music from IKEA called Fly Away.
So from your mind conceive, then you shall achieve it. Don't make them stop you with them bad energy. Them no love believe, but them a breathe. Them no want for people. Now make me fly away. Fly like a million sparrows. Take me away from the horrors. You know, now make me fly. Them no folk, them no for them a fight hard. Them no want me bust out them. Me no listen to where dirty people chat about me. Nah, make them get me done with what them filthy mouth say. What that them dash out, they watch where them must a show. They nah get caught up in and them will be trapped out there. Father God guide my step when my touch out there. Put me in a pit, put my climb out there. Now make me fly away, fly like a million sparrows. Take me away from the horror. No, shall make me fly away, fly. I can't take this no more. This is not what I hope for. No, them talking this, them talking that, them coming on my face and about my truck. Them dig, them hold, them set, them chop, them no want to rise, them now some drop. I came here to the top, piece of the pie, yes, my own that. Forward, I'm not turn back. I try guide them, say, better learn that. The same old step right, and the same one step boo, and the same one step them, and the same one say you one. I saw come down to one conclusion. you only. Only you alone control me. We not this a world full of only. Cause this world may be cold and so lonely. So just love only you only. God make me fly away. Fly like a million sparrows. Take me away from the hard roads. You know, God make me fly away. Fly, I can't take this no more. This is not what I hope for.
Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny.
DJ Kevin Stew, all manners and respect is due, cause you are carry the music and the culture right through. Big up yourself, Cesar Cesar. Bless.
Much respect, says. This is music from Cesar. It's called Rule Your Destiny.
Dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule.
Bouncing through musical therapy on this real talk night right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
You own your thoughts, so now you got to get up and get what you want. In order to achieve, you got to take the chance. Believe in you and not the ones who say you can't. You can because you grow your dreams as if life is a feeling which you plant the seed. You cultivate it into your reality tree, then reap the fruits of being who you want to be. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. In all you do, just know that Jah is there and He will help you through. He called you by your name when you was in the womb, so call Him just the same before you reach the tomb because the world is ours. Now let there be a thing you grudge nobody for. Don't even grudge the rich because you feel you're poor, cause riches from within will bring you even more. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny.
Long journey through the pages of time. The mirror of my mind shows a barren land where the sun don't shine. They built walls around me to imprison my soul. The light to choose from within me. These chains will never.
This is music from Cass Smith. From the album of the same name, this is Journeys.
Hunger and starvation is the name of the day. Third world children are starving while they throw tons of food away. Politics, bureaucracy, Babylon with the mental slavery. The blood of the innocent run deep in the river of despair. We sing way oh, na 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 na. 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 Way oh, na 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 na.
She's in so much pain. When will we stop?
When will we stop?
When will
winding down.
Children shall fight against
I do want to say thank you to my affiliates. Tonight's affiliates. NIE Radio in Connecticut, in New Jersey, sorry. NIE Radio, Mix102.com, both in New Jersey. Earth 96 FM down there in Jamaica. The Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Thank you. Those on Zeno FM, bubbling in the stew pot, those in Clubhouse. Those on YouTube Live. And right here at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. I truly appreciate love each and every one of you.
Said I may not be a big movie star. I don't drive a fancy car. I thank God for life.
This is Neri.
I said I may not be a big movie star.
Yeah, not a big movie star or anything like that.
I thank God.
But I give thanks for life.
I said I've been through the roughest and the toughest and the tough. Full me hit the promises, talk out them want me bus. From 9 to 5 me I follow me dreams. To me never get a hit song on the scene. Still that no means that Mary ain't ready. Still I hold the faith, me I hold it steady. Sure. One of these days everyone's gonna know who is Mary. So me a go and hold the faith, me a hold it steady. Said I may not be a big movie star. I don't drive a fancy car.
So we may not have done the best job that we could have done as parents before this point.
A big movie star.
But moving forward,
I thank God for life.
we have an opportunity to make a difference. We still have an opportunity. And so we need to take advantage of that. As we part company, I encourage you to look out for members of your community. Remember, your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. Those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know it's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is Kevin Stew, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, right here, kevinstew.com. Saturdays, Reggae Global Radio, 8 p.m. Eastern. For the Saturday Stew. As we give thanks for life,
said I may not be a big movie star.
Give thanks for the changes that you have made in your own,
I thank God for
and the others that you have influenced. I love you tons, Sharon. You know this.
My life, still have life.
Thanks to those of you that stopped by and participated in the broadcast. Much love. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Be good. If you can't be good at it. I'm out of here.
I thank God for life. Still have life, y'all. Even though my aim is to win some promise.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.